Our next speaker, Alex Igelman, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, is a lawyer by education and strategic consultant with over 25 years of experience in gaming technology and entertainment. Prior to his role as CEO of Millennial Esports Corporation, Alex was a successful gaming and entertainment lawyer and was founder of Gaming Research Partners, a gaming strategy consulting firm. During his career, Alex has provided strategic services to numerous public and private companies, including leading brands in gaming and entertainment such as Gaming VC, Party Gaming, PokerStars, Wynn Resorts, Caesars, MGM, and others. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Igelman and this afternoon.
First of all, I'd like to thank the organizers, and every time I come to Jamaica, I'm always extremely impressed. I've been coming here for many years, trying to be involved in a number of different initiatives, both with land-based gaming, as we've seen over the years, that the push that's happened, as well as online gaming, and I'm really happy to see that things are progressing, and as always, Jamaica has taken the lead, both in the Caribbean and elsewhere, to be at the forefront of new technology and especially in the gaming sector. So I'd like to give a hand to everyone involved. So thank you very much for the introduction. I am a lawyer. I'm going to do a little presentation here, and just bear with me. There's a couple of videos that you'll see, and we can talk about what is esports. So esports really is a form of competition. It's competitive video gaming, and basically it's any type of game that people play competitively against each other. So many of you are familiar with console games like Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. Those are games that people play. Some of those games are one versus the computer player. Others are games where you play against other people, and then there's also PC games. And so these are games that people play competitively. As an example, let's take a game called Call of Duty you may have heard of, or Halo. So these are games that people play against each other, and typically competitive video gaming is made up of teams. So there'll be either 4 or 5 people in a team playing against another team of 4 or 5 people. And as you'll see from the presentation, this industry has exploded and really is at a point now that it is rivaling conventional sports. So in 2017, as you can see, esports, double-digit industry growth. There we go. Year over year. Right now, the global esports market is about to break $1 billion in 2017. In terms of the viewership, just to give you an idea, there's 269 billion minutes of esports content consumed by people in 2016. These are people between the ages of, say, 16 and 50 years old that are watching on what we call content distribution networks like Twitch, which is a company that Amazon bought 3 years ago for just under $1 billion. YouTube, Facebook, these are all content that is viewed by people watching other people play video games, whether it's competitive or actually just people playing video games. Just so you can understand, there are people that go on that have a following of 30,000, 40,000 people that will tune in just to watch them play a video game. They're not playing in a competition, they're not playing for money, they're just playing a game that they like, and people are watching them. So this is something that you have to understand. You have to sort of get your head around it. It's sometimes hard to imagine, especially people, of my age and the age of people in this room. We sort of don't understand how someone could even possibly be interested in watching someone else play a video game. But it's happening, and it's happening to a great extent. and those numbers are expected to top 409 billion this year. So just imagine, look at the growth. It's almost over 35% growth, and it's growing exponentially on a daily basis. In terms of the global community of people interested in esports or video games, It's about 150 million. If you take the actual total amount of people that play video games globally, it's in excess of 700 million people. Here's some demographics. 65% are between the ages of 18 to 24, male. 43% have annual incomes of over $75,000 a year. And these are very key points to take a hold of. 49% of them spend most of their free time consuming esports. So aside from playing video games, they're involved in esports in many ways. And so a lot of them are watching esports, playing esports, betting on esports, which we'll talk about in a minute. And 60% are willing to travel to attend tournaments and events. Very important for a country like Jamaica or others that tourism is an important thing. You hold a big tournament here, it's no different than a big boxing match, a big UFC fight. People will come to travel and see this event. And so understanding that, people in the travel and tourism segment can understand how they can use this, and we'll talk about it as, a new form of entertainment to attract tourists. How does it enter the mainstream? Well, here's from Business Insider in March of this year. Financial institutions are starting to take notice. Goldman Sachs valued esports at $500 million in 2016 and expects the market will grow at 22% compounded annually over the next 3 years to more than a $1 billion opportunity. Just to give everybody a little bit of background on myself, I am the CEO of a public company, the first pure-play public company trading on the Toronto Stock Exchange called Millennial Esports Corporation. We're a full-service tournament provider. We provide technology for the industry. We are involved in all facets of the industry, analytics, and I'll get into that a little bit quicker. Anyway, I'm seeing I'm pressed for time, so just to give you an idea. Again, Facebook is in it, multi-billion-dollar companies. Just going to show you, go back. This little video, I'm just going to show you quickly. This is our arena in Las Vegas that we built. That's my company. That's a studio, an arena, seats about 1,000 people right in downtown Las Vegas. Las Vegas, and you'll see in a moment, and Nevada has really pushed esports. It's become a very big focus of the casinos, and I'll explain why. It's entering the mainstream, as I said. Again, quotes from Forbes, we don't have to go into them, but the bottom line is that these events take place in small arenas like ours, but also in big arenas like the Air Canada Centre in Toronto, where 15,000 people came to watch video games. A game called League of Legends, which many of you probably have never even heard of, but it was enough to sell out within hours, and 15,000 people crammed the Air Canada Centre. Same thing with the Staples Centre. Just for those of you that don't know as well, the NBA has announced a partnership with NBA 2K, which is a video game. And now there is going to be an NBA league, a video game league, where the actual teams, the 17 of the 30 teams, have already opted in to be part of this video game league. So it's real world and the world of video games, and they're merging. This is a quick video just to show you what an event is like. It's one we did with Microsoft and in our arena in November.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Halo World Championship, Las Vegas Qualifier. Let's make some noise.
Microsoft put up the money here. There's a big prize pool. was attended by over 1,000 people. We have over 30,000 people watching online, and it was a hugely successful event in our arena.
They are going to the Halo World Championships. Straight six. So we have another game.
We can cut this now. So here's what we're going to talk about. We're in a gaming conference, so esports and casinos. What's the story here? So this is a quote from Seth Shore. Seth is a close friend of mine, sits on my board, but he's also the chairman of the Downtown Grand, 700-room casino hotel in downtown Las Vegas. Also owns a few other hotels. And he said he doesn't know of any new casino property that caters to a wide audience that isn't going to do this, referring to esports. Clicker's working? Okay. And again, here's another quote. Casinos view esports as a way to attract younger new patrons who are not gambling as much as the baby boomers are interested in existing forms of entertainment. The average esports fan is between 21 and 35 years old. So these are, people that we want to bring into our casinos. So what do we do? As I said, esports as an event. So in a casino, similar to boxing in the 70s, UFC in the 90s and 2000s, esports is a way to attract millennials into the casino. Another quote from Seth. And I'll make this available to anyone interested, because obviously we're pressed for time here. And here's why esports work for land-based casinos. Desirable audience, they're well off, multi-day events. They're coming in for 2-3 days. These events are usually over a weekend, culminating in a final. There's a range of event possibilities, all different kinds of sports, whether they're shooting games, basketball games, sports games, FIFA, all these different types of things. And casinos can basically host these events with their existing space. So you have a convention center, you have some space, you can host these events. These are things we can put up, pop up. Something like this would work really well, this space. So here's the other part of what we're talking about, esports, but I'm going to talk about just sort of the new form of gaming, skill gaming. So one is esports wagering. So just to give you an idea, Pinnacle, which is a big offshore book, their handle 2 years ago for esports was greater than that of tennis, betting on tennis, and betting on rugby. So that's just 2 years ago. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry in terms of wagering, and people are wagering on the outcome of these esports tournaments. So again, you have a sports book here, you have an online sports book. I know you're doing online things. Eventually you'll be able to wager on esports, hopefully here in Jamaica. Skill-based gaming. So esports betting, as I said, you're betting on the outcome of an event. It's already 10 online sports books are offering esports gambling, and these are some of their names, including William Hill. How big is esports betting? Well, in terms of handle, it's in the billions of dollars. 2016, they did $5.5 billion in esports wagering. Daily fantasy sports, which you've probably all heard of, is only $2.9 billion. That gives you an idea how big this is. And this is just some charts showing you the growth of esports wagering in handle, how it's expected to grow to 12, almost 13 billion in 2020. That's only a couple years away. Senate Bill 240, very important. Last week, the governor of Nevada signed a bill that permitted, that will now allow people to wager in sports books in Nevada, which, as you know, is the only legal place you can wager in North America, on esports events. Signed into law, Bill 240. And it will come into effect on July 1st, and it will allow Nevada Sportsbook to accept bets. Esports regulation, again, very important. We're here at a conference. Esports require oversight to ensure integrity, so there's no random number generators. Regulators need to ensure the competitors are at the same playing field. And again, in this future, esports betting casinos would allow people to wager against each other. So imagine somebody coming into your casino, there's a game, they play against each other, the house takes a rake. This is going to happen. You have to understand that the people that play slot machines, the people that are interested in those kinds of machines, they're dying off. The younger generation are interested in new things. And so, listen, I'm part of that crowd, so I'm going too. There's regulatory bodies already called E6, an Integrity Coalition, just so you can understand how advanced this is. This is not, it's a nascent industry, but it's very advanced already. Esports regulations, many companies have partners with E6, so you can see the level of companies, Intel, DreamHack, Nevada Gaming Control Board, Global Lottery Monitoring System. They're working with E6 to ensure the integrity of esports wagering. Finally, I'm just going to touch upon one last thing, esports skill-based gaming. So what is that? Skill-based gaming is is when people play sort of esports-related games against a machine for money. The outcome of the match is already predetermined. It's much like a slot machine. So basically, there's an RNG in there. They're playing what they think is a video game, but instead of seeing fruits or bells or whatever it is, they're actually doing something, but the RNG is already in there, and the math is going to deliver them that same win. The skill does apply maybe to the bonus round, so you can win a little bit more if you're more skilled. That's one type of skill-based gaming, and there are already companies doing that. Over the past few years, a few of them have, I'm not going to show this video, but there's a company called GameCo. There's a company called Gamblet. These are companies that have machines that today you can order. They're already in Nevada, in New Jersey, in your casino, on your casino floor, and that people can play video game type entertainment either with a random number generator or based on skill games. So with that, I'm just going to conclude by saying esports, if you don't know about it, you better. And we're here to answer any questions. You know, our company is doing a lot of things on a global basis. This is a global phenomena. Obviously, it's of much interest to casino operators as it is to the general public. So with that, I thank you all.